Hi, it's your girl, Tia Shashai, the host of Millennial High Live. And today's show is going to be a great one. I have two awesome guests, Brooklyn and Spicy Brown, and we're going to talk about healthy relationships. So my two previous radio shows were about having a healthy lifestyle, like a healthy mind, and this one will be about having a healthy relationship. So I watched this really cool TED Talk, and it's about healthy relationships, of course. So Dr. Joanne Davila, she's a licensed clinical psychologist. She found 3 key skills that everyone needs to learn in order to have healthy relationships. So tune in.
Hey, it's event producer Josh Schoenwolf, and you're listening to Philadelphia's hottest inspirational talk show, Millennial High, hosted by the amazing Tia Shashai.
Hey, it's your girl Tia Shashai, the host of Millennial High, where the trend-setting millennial comes for motivation, inspiration, and deep conversation. Today, I have 2 of my favorite people on the show. I have David. Hey, David.
What's up, Tia?
AKA Spicy Brown in the house.
That's right.
Yes. And Brooklyn. Hey, girl.
Hey, Tia.
So today, we're going to stick with the theme. It's just 2019. We're still in January. I think we're okay with not saying Happy New Year, but at this point, right?
Yeah, we over that.
We're over that, right? But what we're not over is improvement. And it's a new year, so people, tend to say, let's get a fresh start, which is fine. So the last show, we were kind of talking about, healthy bodies and healthy mind.
Yes.
And now we're going to be talking about healthy relationship. And Brooke, you said it best on your Facebook Live. What did you say? Do you remember when you're like, she's like, what it's really about, it's not about the healthy relationship, but what it's really about is just like how to get your life right,
yes,
right?
Definitely.
How to get your life right. To have a healthy relationship. To
Absolutely.
know. So I'm super excited. And then I thought about this topic because I was watching one of those viral videos, right? Mm-hmm. And it was about hashtag relationship goals. And I realized there were so many women listening to this one guy and all the advice that he was giving, but he's just a normal guy, just with a lot of experience. And I'm like, well, what do the professionals say about this? Because we're basing our life and we're making huge changes based on a YouTube video that has 1 million views, but is it legit, right? So I love TED Talks. I found this TED Talk, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. And this is actually coming from Dr. Joanne Davila. She's a licensed clinical psychologist, and her team came up with 3 specific things to do to have a healthy relationship or to exit out, things that you can do to exit out of an unhealthy one. So we're going to get into that. But we're going to take a little break, as we always do, and I'm going to play Miss Tia, but she's going by Tia Shanae now, and she's a Philadelphia artist, and the song is called You Know. I love this song, and it's a nice vibe to start out this relationship show.
I love her voice.
Yeah,
it reminds me of calm water.
Yes. I know. So good. Tell us what you think in my DMs. You can slide in my DMs. I like when people
slide in my DMs, child.
Oh, girl.
Okay.
I love that. So let's play Tia, and then we're gonna come right back, and we're gonna talk about relationships.
Yeah.
shoulders. Temperatures rising, but nights getting colder. Don't spread your wings to fly away from here. I got your back until the end. I'll never let you fall. You shine, you grind, your crown fits right. You're a valiant warrior. You know. I believe in you. I fight, I cry, I try. I see the queen in you. I dream, you dream, we grow. All things are possible, nothing's unachievable. All backs against the wall, he'll see us through. Let me speak life into you. Give me your heart, your soul, your mind. One day you're up, one day you're down. You can turn it all around. 'Cause I hear you say, let the chips fall where they may. But that's no way to think. Baby, you deserve much more. Wait and see what's in store. Your story is far from over, girl. It's your time to show the world. When you feel like giving up, when you feel like giving in. But if we don't struggle, there's no way we will win. Just remember that you're bound to fall. There's no growth without pain. Just stay strong, just hold on, y'all. We're gonna make it through. I know. I see the best in you. Keep fighting, keep crying, keep trying, yeah. All things are possible, nothing's unachievable. My back, your back, he'll see us through.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to 106.5 FM. I'm your host, Shashai. This is Millennial High, and I have Spicy Brown in Brooklyn in the studio with me today. Hey, y'all.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
And we're going to be talking about relationships and what makes for a healthy relationship. And let's get into it. So first, how was your weekend?
My week was good. Relaxing, calm.
Good. Brooke, what about you?
It was relaxing and calm. All I did was work, so,
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I did too.
Yes.
No, I had a couple events, and it was a lot of fun. But when I was just like, when I did have some downtime, like I was saying earlier, I was on Facebook a little bit, and I saw this video with this guy talking about relationships and how all these women were like, you know, I love listening to you because, like, you helped me with my man and da-da-da, which is fine, right? But he's just a regular guy with a regular job that has experience, which is fine, right? But now I want to get into just a more experience based, but also like clinically based view on what is a true healthy relationship and how you can have one. So before we get into that, and I play a clip from this TED Talk that I love, I sent it to Brooke and I sent it to David, but we'll talk about that later. But first, I want to throw out there, what do you think makes for a healthy relationship?
For me, Tia, and I know you hate this word, but I believe a healthy relationship comprises of compromise. Like, you have to be able to give and take to each other's needs. That's my thought process on that. Tia doesn't like that word, but it's quite all right.
And what about you, David?
Communication and knowledge of your partner. Like, you know, if it has to take you, like, knowing what size shirt they are, like, or knowing what their behavioral patterns are, how are they going to receive you in certain ways, certain days, what is the point, the pressure point to each situation. You know what I mean? I think it's good to know that with the partner, and also they have to know you as well to know how you guys can, you know, coexist.
And what makes for an unhealthy relationship? Like, what's an unhealthy relationship?
Oh, geez, listen.
Go ahead, Brooke.
So, listen, I have to admit that I just got out of an unhealthy relationship, and what comprises of that is no compromise. Yeah. One person saying it's my way or the highway, and basically no communication, like you said, and just being you could be selfish to a point, but being totally selfish, not thinking about your partner and what makes them happy also. That's my view.
Also, too, I want to touch base with that, Brooklyn. Being mature about the conflict resolution. You know, we have to know, we're not always going to agree on something. I mean, that's normal. People are going to disagree or agree or whatever. But then you also have to take the mature approach, which is being ready to forgive or apologize when you know you've done something wrong. And a lot of times you always get that one person in the party that says, oh yeah, I'm going to apologize because I know I messed up. But then you have somebody else that just don't want to take responsibility.
I agree, because forgiveness is key. Forgiveness is key in a healthy relationship, but when you have lack of forgiveness, or even if you say that you forgive your partner, but you keep on bringing up past mistakes, that's just unhealthy relationship, right?
Absolutely.
So we have, so this TED Talk I found, it's the key to a healthy relationship. It's skills for a healthy romantic relationship. And this is a licensed clinical psychologist. Her name is Dr. Joanne Davila, and her fellow researchers, they had just tons and tons of data, right? They interviewed tons of people, and basically they found commonalities throughout all of when people say that they're in a healthy relationship or things worked out. There were 3 commonalities throughout each. So, but first I want to play a clip of the TED Talk I watched, and it, just to set up the clip, but she's talking about why we need to learn skills to have a healthy relationship, and how most of us don't know how to have healthy relationships. We don't know.
I absolutely love this. Like, it really touched something in me.
Yeah, and that's good because, and so Brooke, so the one part where she's just like, we wait when it's too late. So you're already married, or maybe you're dating, and you decide to go to couples therapy because things are going wrong. She's saying it's already too late.
It's already
too late. Or sometimes you have pre-marriage counseling, like you got engaged and now you want to go to, she's like, it's already too late because you just picked your life partner by saying, I want to marry you, and then now you find out that you picked the wrong one. Like, are you really going to say, okay, the engagement's off? Maybe or maybe not.
Yeah.
But she's just like, and her key is that with young people, that's why I'm bringing it up, just for millennials, we're all getting into relationships, right? But it's just like, do we know how to have a healthy one? So that kind of sets up this clip, and I'm just going to play a little bit of it.
So the ways that we've tried to teach people how to have healthy relationships have been limited because they fail to address 3 important things. Genuinely knowing what you want and need in a partner and a relationship. selecting the right person, and developing and using skills right from the beginning. And I don't mean the beginning of any particular relationship. I mean the beginning, like as soon as possible. We need to teach people, especially young people, how to have healthy relationships. Now, towards this end, my colleagues and I have developed a skills-based model of relationship functioning that we believe can help people create the things that lead to healthy relationships and reduce the behaviors that lead to unhealthy ones.
So basically, that was Dr. Joanne Davila, Skills for a Healthy Romantic Relationship. I just wanted to play that little piece, but because we're going to talk about what the rest of her talks about. And then we're going to go through, and they identified 3 skills. But before that, I want to go into something. She said something that was like key. She's like, the reason why some relationships fail when they reach out to therapy like too late is because they fail to address 3 important things. It's knowing what you want and need in a partner in a relationship, selecting the right partner, and developing and using skills right from the beginning. And honestly, I'm like, do you ever like really go into and mentally think and then say, okay, well, this is the reason why I'm choosing this person to date? I don't do that. I don't think I even get that deep. It's just like, I'm just attracted to them.
Right, yeah.
But that's good.
Energy is everything. If I see stuff in the forefront that I don't like, I just feel that's how you gonna be. Because you have to believe what is presented to you.
And that's a problem with a lot of people.
I have that problem.
Exactly.
That red flag right there. It's not even a problem, that red flag.
We don't even think of it as a red flag. We just think that they're unique.
Right.
Yeah, you can think of it like that. Now, there's some things you can't just be like dramatic, be like, wow, if he's picking his nose, I don't want him. Right. I mean, people pick their nose. You can't just not like them because they pick their nose, but it's just like, if they're a thing.
Yeah, listen.
I don't mind that. I'm talking about baggage, like from like 2 years ago that's coming in now.
Right.
That you talking about on the first date. I'm talking about that red flag.
Right. If they're talking about their ex and how bad their ex is and all this other stuff, then
you don't want that.
You don't want that.
Okay, so Davila and her colleagues developed a skills-based model of relationship functioning that they believe can help people lead to healthy relationships and reduce behaviors that lead to the unhealthy ones. So the 3 skills, the first one is insight. And basically she says is that when insight is about both people have needs and both sets of needs matter. When mutuality, you'll be able to convey your own needs in a clear, direct fashion that increases the likelihood that you'll get them met. Which is to say, you know your needs and you know how to basically convey your needs. But then you understand that your partner also has needs and you respect that. So what do you guys think of that? I mean, do we go in and we think about our partner's needs?
I could say I do. I if anything that this past relationship has shown me is maybe I've overdid it. I'm not sure, but like I was catering to his needs and stuff like that. So it's like, and I think I put his needs over mine, like that's like, to me, I always focused, and I think that was one problem, was focusing on him and what he needed instead of focusing on myself also. So like it was.
And also it's learned. You learn about your partner too going in.
Right.
So if you learn what their needs are, then like you say, you always want to put their needs first because you want to feel like they're validated.
Right.
So like here's the thing though. It's just that sometimes we give better advice when it's not us. Right. So I feel like she always helped me see like, Tia, you need to think beyond. You need to think outside of the box. Or maybe say, Tia, this is what you're doing. Like, she didn't always side with me, even though, like, we're really good friends. Yeah. But she just gave me that kind of, that perspective. So I call Brooke my relationship guru, but Brooke also has a play coming out, a one-woman show coming out about relationships and about what she just went through. So I value their opinions and honor them. And so insight to me, basically, like for instance, Brooke, what you just said, and it's, I think because you said that you gave one more than the other, like you forgot about your needs.
Right.
You didn't have insight about yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And
Very
I
true.
feel like sometimes that happens, and I feel like sometimes that happens, but it's knowing that this is a skill. Like, so it has to be it's a skill. So we don't have that right off the bat. It's something that has to be developed through experience or just by listening to talks like this. Go ahead, David.
Or somewhere you can like meet in the middle with your partner. I always say
Compromise.
It's like compromise. And also
That's mutuality. I like that word better, but we'll get to mutuality later. I'm like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, okay.
And that's also one of the things I talk about in my book, Ladies, Let Me School You. I was speaking to a friend about this. Like, the guy that she's dating, she's been dating him for like 4 weeks. And they share the same faith, which is like Christian and stuff. And I think it's important, like when you're in a relationship, whether you're Christian, Buddhist, or whatever, if you share some common spirituality, that'll also help keep you together. Because that meditation's the same, the prayer life's the same, and even, you may fall short on some things, you always can get connected with, one thing.
So, Insight, she gives an example about, you're sitting down with your partner, you're eating dinner together, and then you just find yourself being short with that person. And, you just start snapping at them.
Yeah.
But she's saying insight, when you develop that skill of insight, you'll stop and be like, wait, why am I snapping at him? Why am I doing this? And then you realize, you had a really hard day at work, so it has nothing to do with him.
Right.
And then, because you know that when you start snapping, they'll go defensive, and then you fall over nothing, because you're stressed out at work.
Yeah.
But it's to be able to say, hey, I am stressed out at work, has nothing to do with you. I apologize for snapping. It was just like a really bad day at work. And then that is insight. Or another one is kind of like, waiting or being upset because you see that they said something to you and you just right off the bat, okay, I'm gonna send this a text, like a nasty text, like we've all written some nasty or maybe started to write a text, right? And she's like, but you realize that insight with your partner is that this can be misconstrued. So I know how he is. Sometimes he doesn't read text messages right, or she doesn't read messages right. So let me call that person so we can get this under control. So that's insight, where that you can send that text, but that your partner might misinterpret it.
Yeah.
So you call them instead. So this is just, and I was like, wow, this is like being really present in your relationship. It's being very thoughtful.
Yeah.
And can I add something to that? Also, a lot of women and men, what they do is they'll go to their friends and complain to their friends instead of talking to their partners. So you that communication and insight, it also pertains to that. Like, you need to be able to talk to your partner.
Yeah. Like,
maybe you need to calm down first, but if you don't talk to your partner, how can things change? How can things get better and stuff like that? So you just have to have that mindset in it. Your friends, they'll tell you things that you might not want to hear, or that you already know and stuff like that, or they might be hating on you, because you're in this great relationship and try to break you up. But if you don't talk to your partner about it, like, it'll just fester. That's just my point. Like, that's another thing for insight, I believe.
Yeah, insight. So we kind of tied in like insight and mutuality. A little bit more in insight is like you have a better idea of who you are, what you need, and why you do the things that you do, and what is really right for you in a relationship. So even coming into the relationship, do we know why we are in this relationship? Like what, like, and honestly, like, I love this talk, just like you were like, it made me think like, well, I'm not really present when I'm with someone. It's just like the mutual attraction, we share the same likes, but it's never really trying to put an effort to kind of make it work.
Yeah.
Isn't that like, I just really thought like, wow, I sabotage every single, and it's not intentionally, it's just like, I don't know how to do it.
Right. And then that's the thing too, it's also about, like, you get into these relationships and you feel as though, okay, now I'm in a relationship with this man or woman, and you're like, well, it's supposed to work. It's supposed to automatically work,
right?
Instead of working at it, and it's and that's not the way relationships are supposed to work at all. It's to quote my ex-boyfriend, it's a job. It really is a job. And if you don't work at
Marriage is work, relationship is work.
Yes. If you don't work at it, then you're not going to be able to fulfill your needs or the needs of that person.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't like it.
But honestly, last year and like all of my life, I would not have liked it because I really feel like, sometimes I live in like this place in my mind that everything should be like perfect and everything is like ordained and aligned and things should work out if they're meant to be, right?
Yeah.
But the older I'm getting, I realize that is not true. That you really do have to, if you, like, for instance, this show, like, I just can't say, oh, it's automatically just gonna, you have to make it great. Like, I have to put in time and effort into it. I have to be strategic with my thinking and my guests. And I was just like, wow, I do that for that. Why wouldn't I do that for, the man that I choose to be with or any, and now I understand why I'm single. Like,
it's work.
It's work.
It's hard work.
And that's why you should
easy.
have time for it.
Yeah.
And not just because it's so easy to just, I'm telling you, attraction is a thing.
Yeah.
And then you think you should be together, but you shouldn't be.
Right.
Like, just because you're attracted to each other doesn't mean that you're meant to be together. Like, it really doesn't. All right. So we kind of blended in insight and mutuality. Also, so let's talk about the third one. We'll talk about the third one when we come back, and that's emotion regulation, because I think that's going to be a big one.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. And, okay, so wait, something fun before we go to break. So, right now we said insight and mutuality, but that's not how we talk, right?
Right.
So, what would you call the first one? What will insight be?
Oh, no, you can.
How would you reword this for like a millennial that's just like listen, or just a younger millennials, or how would you reword insight that we would kind of understand it?
Self-knowledge.
I think it's like Brooklyn said, it's self-knowledge, but you have to know your worth. Once you know your worth and your true value of love for yourself, then you'll be able to love somebody else. So you have to know your worth before going into something. So when you know yourself thoroughly like that, you'll be able to love somebody else. You'll be able to receive what they have given you. I
love it. That's what it is. And so the insight that she's referring to is knowing your worth. Everyone's saying like, I need to know my worth. The whole self-care thing too. Yeah. It's all tied in here.
Knowing what you can tolerate, what you can't tolerate, and learning how to say no to
and learning how to say no. That's so right now insight is just like, because she's a doctor. So they're going to have like these clinical words, But insight.
Indubitably.
Exactly. Exactly. So the insight to me is knowing your worth. Knowing your worth, but then also the flip side, knowing your partner's worth.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need to know when like we're just not going to work.
Yeah.
And letting go.
Okay.
And and that's okay because you recognize their worth.
Yeah.
You recognize their worth. And you know when to let go. So what about mutuality? That's the one, that's what Brooke is. Can we not use compromise? Like, I can't even like say it. I just can't. I don't know. There's something about that word that makes me crazy. So I love mutuality, but what would you say besides mutuality or compromise? Like, how would you break this down to a 23-year-old? You know what I mean? Like, how would you break that down? So this is when you know that both needs need to be met. Like, you have needs, they have needs, and they both need to be met. That's a tough one, right?
Understanding.
Yeah.
You have to have an understanding.
Yes.
Like, you can't, like you said, Brooklyn, you can't always, if you feel selfish, then that means you're doing something wrong.
Right.
So you can't wait till somebody to tell you something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think you know it.
It's understanding. Yeah, understanding is a good one.
Yeah, I like understanding. No, I like that. Understanding. To have understanding.
Of the other person and yourself.
And yourself. Yeah, okay. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to break, and then we're going to talk about the third skill to have a healthy relationship. And I kind of want to play. What do you guys want to hear? I'm, like, open. I feel, like, so zen right now. But I still kind of want to, like, listen to house and, like, right? So I'm going to play I'm going to play a song, Simply Surprise, and we'll be right back.
Every day that I wake, I say to myself today, it's gonna be a brighter day. It's gonna be a brighter day. The moment I'm on my feet, I'm flying suddenly. I hear a voice say to me, your dream is not reality. I know I'm a winner. Staring out in the crowd, I'm living in the moment now. I never really had a doubt. I never really had a doubt. Stars align perfectly. The universe is at my feet. Soaring high, no gravity. Soaring high, no gravity.
We're just dancing here in the studio. I love that song. But also dancing, but we're also listening to Marcus school us, right? So Marcus, he is behind the camera right now because, you know, I have a show, obviously the show called Millennial High, but I also have a show called Millennial High Live, and that comes on every Tuesday, Comcast Verizon, Comcast Channel 66, Verizon Channel 29 at 1 p.m. And this will air next month. So if you want to see Spicy Brown, and you want to see Brooklyn, and you want to see yours truly, Tia Shashai, tune in next month. But actually this month too, because we have an episode on this month Tuesday from 1 to 2 too. So I mean, check it out. It's not with Brooklyn and Spicy Brown though, but it's a good episode. So Marcus was basically saying that understanding is fine, but having an empathetic heart is super important.
And be able to listen. That's when he was talking about, you know, how people talk over each other, but are we actually listening to each other?
And like listening so listening, and you can listen, you can understand, but you cannot care what they're saying.
Right.
And that's where the empathetic heart comes in.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, you definitely have to have caring. And a lot of people, what they do is they do kind of listen, but if you don't have that caring, then you're just going to be like, okay, whatever, like, go on with your life. I don't really.
And that's not caring about your partner's needs.
No, it's
and that's that
definitely
mutuality that is not there. And that's a key skill for a healthy relationship. And I feel like that's all tied in. So even though there's 3 points, there's 3 key skills, but there's so much within that one skill.
It's like a broad statement.
It's a broad,
Yeah.
this is super broad. So let's move into the third one. So the first was insight. The second was mutuality. Insight being knowing who you are, like Spicy Brown said, self-worth. Basically, keeping it up to date, knowing your self-worth, knowing your partner's worth. Mutuality, that's that understanding. And then Marcus threw in, that's also having a sympathetic heart. And then the third one is emotion regulation. So about regulating. Emotion regulation is about regulating your feelings in response to things that happen in your relationship. So you'll be able to keep your emotions calm and keep things that happen in your relationship in perspective. Now, this is just like, you ain't going to turn up, you ain't going to turn out. Like, that's what that is.
Basically.
And it's just like, keep it calm, keep it zen. So emotion regulation to me is like, that is a skill that I think everyone should have in life anyway.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Because you're getting your feelings.
You know, like your feelings.
Definitely getting your feelings, and it's like, you're going to listen to me, you're going to understand me, and I don't care if I got to scream and holler and do this and do that. And a lot of times, too, I feel like emotional regulation is, even if you are getting into an argument with your partner, you don't play dirty.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of
Right.
people,
They
they will hit below the belt and
Yeah.
keep on going, and it's like, oh, wow, is that how you really feel, or are you saying this because you're mad?
Yeah.
And then the reaction to that is, well, if you're playing dirty, I'm going to play dirty, you know?
And it's just like this
it's hard.
cycle
It's
that's hard
very
to break.
cycle, yes.
And that's a toxic, unhealthy relationship.
And it's really hard for somebody who's like very opinionated, that just always speaks their mind. I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
But what makes it annoying for me, like when I get into like arguments with someone or just talk to them, if I talk to you about this like 3 times before we had this discussion, I'm gonna be annoyed, which means I'm gonna snap on you.
Exactly.
Because I told you 3 times.
But that comes with not listening and
I know.
understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like everything, there's, even though we put them in order, but it's just like woven throughout the entire relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And like they kind of build off of each other. So emotion regulation, like for instance, so the example that she gave is saying something happens, something pops off in the relationship, right? And she's like, it's not freaking out. It's not, yelling and cursing and screaming or sending the angry text and da-da-da. It's saying like, you know what? I can handle this. This is going to be all right. There's a way to deal with this. I'm going to figure this out and it's going to be okay. And she's just like, with emotional regulation, you'll be able to tolerate uncomfortable feelings and not act out on them impulsively. And I think that's what we're saying. It's just that we act so impulsively. And because you find out something happens or you see that text that you shouldn't have saw, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or like, you see that receipt, I don't know, whatever. And it's kind of like, what? You want to flip out immediately, but it's like, no, control yourself. And one thing that she says that I really like, because she's like, that falls into insight, knowing your self-worth.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to act in a way or say something or do something that you're going to regret or feel guilty about later.
Yeah.
And it's about a person taking you out of your character. If that's not who you are, then why is it that you're acting this way?
Right.
You don't. I had a lot of that. I would act in certain ways that I'm like, why am I acting this way? And it was just, I was taken way out of my character. And a lot of people, they're like a good person on the inside and or on the outside also, and they get into these situations with the people who aren't a proper fit for them, and then they get taken out of their character and wondering why these things are happening.
And then that also goes to show, like, if you are constantly, if you know you weren't that person coming into that relationship, and that person's making you change like that, then you gotta be the one to move yourself out.
Exactly.
Because if you know you weren't that person coming in, and that person keep having you come out of character, Because that person that's constantly arguing with you, they may be one way with you, but then that person's outside audience is like, oh, he's not like that,
Right.
but he's always one way with you.
Right.
Sometimes people are manipulative.
Yes.
Right.
And they like to put on the audience thinking that they the perfect ones.
Right.
When they be doing the snake stuff.
And you know what? That's so true. And what both of you said, because I think that that's the key. When you act so out of character, and not even like in the good way, but like you become someone else that you don't even like.
Yeah.
That means you're done. And I
You
kind
gotta
of
get
feel like
out.
you gotta get out. Like, I mean, by that point, I mean, you should probably got out a while ago.
A long time ago.
But, and that's another thing that falls into like that self-awareness, that falls into the understanding and that sympathetic heart, because sometimes like you have to understand that person could be better off without you.
Yeah.
You know, why are you still keeping them there? Like, you know, drawing them in by being like manipulative.
Yeah.
You know, like I kind of feel like, and that's something that's like sometimes it hurt, like you gotta let go. And that's one thing that she says about this. She's like, emotion regulation too is just like, okay, say you did break up with someone, you did break up, and it's about recognizing and understanding, yeah, I'm not, you know, I don't feel okay right now, you know, I'm a little depressed because of this. But you want to have a sense, you still want to keep that sense of respect. You don't want to get so tied into that pain that you're begging for them back, that you're showing up crying, because you know, you want to maintain a sense of self-respect and commitment to your needs.
Right.
Like when you say you're done, be done.
Yeah, good commitment to your needs, even when bad things happen in your relationship. Like, and it's thinking that way. It's being so in tune that you can like, that's why it's a skill, because like even now it's like, could I do that even after this show? It's something that we all have to work on. Every topic, like every number, you know, 1, 2, and 3, have to work on that to develop that skill. Because even this, I'm like, wow, the next relationship I'm in, I'm going to use this, because I feel like at this particular point in time, I mean, there's just one song that I love. It's kind of like too young to want to settle down, but too old to walk away. Like, right, sometimes people feel like they're in that point, but sometimes it's about time to like
to just leave.
Yeah. So that's emotion regulation. I don't know. So we said that's like not popping off. What did we say for that?
Don't pop off.
Don't pop off.
Don't get on reality TV.
But we were talking about that. Oh, that's another. Oh, you know what? Can I tell you something? I understand that, you know, people get paid for reality TV and stuff like that. And this is, don't worry, this is going to tie into these three topics. But it's kind of like, is it worth people seeing you in that light? Because I feel like how we were talking before the show, you know, the drama. The drama within the relationships, all those things that happen for ratings, is that worth you being portrayed that way in that light?
Right. I don't think so. But I believe a lot of reality TV, like David said earlier, is scripted.
Staged,
Yeah. So it's not, I mean, things might have happened, but maybe not to that extent.
Sometimes they take it to social media though too, so it's just like, is it really? Or I mean, it is, we know that now, right? From seeing behind the scenes shows all the time. But sometimes when it spills over to social media, and that's another thing too with relationships too. And I kind of feel like, I guess it's in here, but it's not. I think it might be maybe towards insight and mutuality. No, and emotion, all of it. It's just that, let's think of an example of like, okay, I'm going to give you guys an example and tell me how they could have used these 3 skills to get out of it. You're on social media, right? You see your man put up a post and you have all these likes and you have these girls in the comments saying, oh, you look good, whatever. What do you do? What would you do?
First of all, let me put my caps lock on, and I am going to be arguing with you and yelling. And, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's what people do.
That's what people really
do.
They will, and it's like,
or they'll take a screenshot.
Yeah, you're a Facebook bully. But anyway, using what we just learned.
Yeah.
I would think that you would, take it for what it is. Facebook is for social media. It's to be funny or whatever. Like, I don't view Facebook
or
as
IG
serious
or Instagram
or anything. Yeah, I don't view social media as a serious thing. But if you have a problem with it because all these girls are flirting with your man and stuff like that, then bring it to him. It's about communication.
Yeah.
Like, listen, like, who are these women and why are they thinking well, I know you're cute, but, why are they
thinking
talking?
you Flav.
Right. Well, not just that, like, or The Bachelor for all that matters, but it's just the fact that you need to talk to your partner about it, calm yourself down.
Right.
That's the first thing.
Emotion regulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Calm yourself
And not
down.
everything is for social media. Don't put all your business out.
Exactly. It's supposed to be for fun.
Yeah.
And businesses.
And business.
Yeah.
And that's what ties into the reality show. I was telling my one girlfriend, if you want to get behind the camera, put your business out. Put what you've been working on. Don't just do it for like the drama. Because you're going to look crazy.
Right. So, okay. So, for me, how I would handle that situation. Take a screenshot. Brooke, look at this.
Press the cough button.
Tia, calm down.
No. You know what I would do? I won't talk to them ever again. Oh, really? Okay.
I'm blocking you.
I'm ghosting you. It's called ghosting.
Yeah.
And then it's called
that.
ghosting. So there was an entire article about it. And I think it was actually in Forbes how millennials are even ghosting their employers.
Really?
Are you serious?
That's another topic. Yes, they're just not going back to work.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
They're not answering
They
emails.
sound like the IRS workers.
That's another,
I get no check.
another show.
Oh, okay.
That is another show. Stop.
Shoot. As you flip your lace front, open the door.
Let me tell you. Oh, God, I want to get my hair done so bad. That's another story. Listen, he's at lace front. I'm like, yes? What am I wearing? Sorry, this is how my mind works. I don't know. Okay, so I kind of feel like I would, like Brooke said, take it to him and be like, listen, and I would just with insight, to me, I would go with insight, like, listen, I know who I am and I know what I deserve. I know your worth. I know my worth. I'm not trying to strip away yours. Like you are attracted. I understand that. But how can this is where mutuality comes from. I have needs, right, that have to be met. And I feel like one of the things that I need, one of the needs is that, I feel important. Like, you make me feel important in a relationship. And I don't feel that way when you're just like, just out there commenting and liking that they're likes exactly. And then it's to have that conversation. And then if he's saying, okay, I can't honor that, then honestly it's okay, thank you. Like, okay, thank you. Like, I kind of feel like it should be as easy as that. Now some people say, well, you need to get over you're insecure and like, but no, that's not what it is. It's not about that.
You have to say, I will not allow you to bully me.
Right.
I will not allow you to mistreat me in any wrong way.
Right.
I'm going to remove myself.
Exactly.
And the other thing, though, too, is when he says that, like, let's say he did say that, well, I'm not going to do that, and you're being
insecure. Guys always love saying you're being insecure.
Well, first of all, you're discrediting my feelings.
Yep.
And for us to be in a relationship, that should not happen at all. Like, you should be able to, like, listen, babe, I do understand, and maybe I did go a little bit overboard or whatever, but for you to discredit my feelings, which a lot of people do, like, a lot of people will say, well, this didn't happen to you, how bad can it be? And it's like, well, it's bad, to me. If for me to be upset or for me to be like even happiness, like, it's something big to me. It doesn't have to be big to you, know. But for you to discredit my feelings, like, that's not right. How would you like it if I were to say that to you, like, to discredit your feelings, So it all connects. Is what I'm basically what I'm saying. It all connects. So
So for instance, you're learning, you're working on the same skills that we talked about, and then hopefully your partner is too. So then that way, if your partner wouldn't say that.
Right.
He'd say, you know what, you're right. I
compromise. I'm sorry.
You just put her in a pause.
I'm done.
I apologize to you again.
No. Thank you for apologizing and honoring my needs and my feelings.
Have a purest heart.
Yes.
Exactly. They will be empathetic, have that. They'll understand.
Yes.
They'll go beyond understanding, have that empathetic heart. I'm like, you know what, babe? Our relationship is important to me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
More important than getting likes and comments.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I can do, and actually what a lot of celebrities are doing now too, that normal people should probably start doing, is that you can limit the comments on your post.
Right.
To actually just friend comments, or maybe 5 or 10 comments, or you can close out comments altogether.
Well, and you know what I do, like, 'cause sometimes I get some negative people on my posts, and if I find that I don't agree with their comment, I'll delete it. It's as simple
Yeah, you
as that.
can.
You can
As simple
delete
as
it.
that.
It's like as simple as that. Oh, I don't like what you said.
It's that
delete.
one swipe.
Yup.
Swipe to the left.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna close out the show. That was a lot of fun, you
It
guys.
was.
It was.
It's a lot of fun, but so really quick, 1 minute each. Brooke, what are you up to right now? Like, what are you doing, and where can people find you on social media?
Okay, I just finished my play. It is called I Am. It shall be, opening night is April 19th and April 20th. And at 7:30 at Theater Horizon in Norristown, Pennsylvania. Come check me out. Tickets are on sale now on Eventbrite. So, just look for me April 19th, April 20th, and I'm so excited.
And where can they find you on social media?
Brooke. Well, you can find me. I am. That's the page name for the play, and then also Queen_Honeybee for Instagram. I'm going to change that soon, but
Okay,
for right
and
now.
then Spice Brown.
Well, if you want to purchase my book, Ladies Let Me School You, it is on Amazon. And I'm working on new books this year, so hopefully I'll have my second book finished towards the fall. It should be done, but I'm working on some new stuff. Just continue to check me out on SpicyBrown85 on Instagram for more updates.
Awesome. And I just want to say thank you both for your time.
Yes.
Thank you for just showing up today, and not just showing up physically, but showing up mentally and spiritually. Thank you. This was a really great show.
Thank you, Tia.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you to the audience at home for watching and for listening. And like I said, watching because this is being filmed right now. But as always, stay lit, love inspired and true. And have a really great Sunday. If you're heading to brunch, get a Bellini for me and I'll show up.
I want some pancakes.
You do?
I know I sound fat.
No, you don't.
I
Can I tell you
But
that?
you just said brunch, it just matches the
Yes, right?
Listen,
Have fun at
I'm a little
brunch.
hungry too.
You're hungry.
Mhm.
I really need some tea because I've had a really I didn't get enough.
water.
I need water.
Yeah.
That's what I need. Let me act
Water,
right.
Gatorade.
Let me have some water. Get this
Hydrate.
2019 off right. Okay, so I'll see you next week. And until next time, as always, stay lit, love inspired, and true.
Have a good week, guys.
Have a good week.
Have an awesome week.
Bye.
Hey everyone, it's your boy David Poellnitz, aka SpicyBrown85. Thank you for tuning into today's show. Today we were talking about healthy, skilled relationship qualities in which you bring to the table, understanding your partner and having an empathetic heart, and just knowing your worth. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on my Instagram, SpicyBrown85. And also, this is my book, Ladies Let Me School You. You can find that on Amazon. It's on Amazon. I sell it in paperback and electronic. So, and just keep tabs with me. I have some new books coming out this year. And just keep following me and continue to listen. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Brooke Williamson. I wrote the play I Am. You can find it at Theater Horizon on April 19th and April 20th at 7:30 p.m. That's in Norristown. And you can find me also on Instagram at Queen Honeybee. That's Queen, QUEEN_HUNNYBEE, and also on Facebook under the page I Am.
Thank you for watching. Thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you, Spicy Brown, for being on the show today. Today was a great show, and just as a reminder, the three skills that we all need to cultivate to have healthy relationships. The first one is, there's no particular order actually. Let's just start. So emotion regulation, mutuality, and insight. So the link we'll post right after this closing, and as always, stay lit, love inspired, and true. And see you later.